Check that out, huh? We are back out here to start off the third full day over on the Quaker Run side of the park. And admittedly, I did get a late start. It's been a lot harder to get up for sunrise this year than it was last year. Which is funny because I had to get up a lot earlier last year than I do now, considering it's still the springtime. But, you know, still rewarded for getting out nonetheless. This is one of my favorite areas in the whole park. It just has a certain feeling about it that feels more wild, and the conditions here are always a treat, no matter what they are, right? And today is no exception. The scene I'm looking at right now, which I will film some B-roll for, it's awfully overexposed. Let me redo that here. There we go. There's a little bit of fog lingering in this wetland here, and there's some blooming trees. One in particular that seems to be blooming out of like this dead snag. And I really love that story that it's telling, of life emerging from things that are seemingly dead, that sort of story of resilience, and it's just basking in the light. Couple little sort of crepuscular rays coming through the trees here with some of that lingering fog. And we got this little creek kind of lingering or meandering its way through on a nice diagonal there. I really like it. Just an absolutely gorgeous way to start the morning here. And I figure I'd bring you guys in. And very excited to see what else is in store. And I'm gonna keep working on the scene here. Because I'm just loving it. I'm loving the scene itself. I'm loving everything else around it. So I want to kind of take my time here before I end up moving up the road further. Currently, I am standing at the edge of one of my favorite vantage points in the entire park. Lesser known area, but still just absolutely gorgeous. That right there, that big mound of sticks, that's actually a beaver lodge right in front of me, and I'm at the edge of a pretty sizable beaver meadow, and there's a very large beaver dam. You can kind of see the edge of it out there. Where the reflection stops in the water. I absolutely love this section of the park. I've been here in the fall, been here in the winter, been here in the summer and the spring, and it never fails to disappoint. Love this spot. We've got quite a few images from that very vantage point. That to this day are some of my favorite photos I've ever taken, specifically some of the ones that I photographed in the winter time, where there was some hoarfrost or rye mice, whatever it ended up being. I don't know for sure. It was magical. It was magical. And especially backlit, rye mice or hoarfrost. Spiderweb. Always got to be walking through spiderwebs, especially at this time of day. That's your treat for being the first person to any given spot, is that you get to go through all the spiderwebs. And it is so unbelievably bright everywhere I keep looking. All the spots I want to look are into the sun because everything is all backlit and stuff, so I keep having to try not to blind myself here. And you can see over here, there's quite a few more beaver dams. They're kind of stepped all the way down for this creek here that leads into that much bigger area underneath this little culvert that goes under the road. But yeah, last year in the spring, I was here in the evening with my brother, and we saw actually a beaver working on the dam there, bringing up sticks and kind of crawling up there and just laying the sticks on the dam. Several of them have leaks, but I mean, that's going to be common. I feel like a beaver dam will spring a leak every now and then. They're not perfect, but they do a pretty damn good job at, keeping the water up and all the ecological benefits that come with it. Right now, actually, this backlit staghorn sumac plant right there in front of me looks really cool. It's still got some like water droplets on it, or maybe it's just like the backlighting on it. That just looks really cool. I might photograph that, but outside of that, I think I'm actually just gonna walk up the road since the gate here is currently closed. It was open in November of last year, but it's been closed ever since, so I don't know if they only open it during hunting season, because this area is pretty popular with hunters. But either way, I'm going to grab my bag. We're going to walk up the road. So I'm up at like, I want to say like the middle of this whole road. And just stopping here to take in the views, probably eat my trail snack, maybe film a little B-roll. Lots of birds out, which is not surprising considering how cold it has been the past couple days. It's like the first real warm day we've had so far this week. It's supposed to get a little bit warmer into Friday, Thursday, and then kind of cool back down as we head into the weekend. But we will be heading out of here in probably Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning. I've been just enjoying the trip so far. And if you guys watched this, my camping trip series last year, you might remember this tree right here. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but that one right in front of me there, and that little tiny one back there, it's got like the dead tree next to it. But these two trees were some of my absolute favorite trees to photograph during that trip last year. I think one of my favorite images I made was of that tree. I'll put that picture up on the screen. But that is the same one, just pushing out its leaves and flowering as we speak. Unsure of the species, but always nice to revisit those again. And it looks like some more clouds are rolling in. A couple smaller clouds. Looks like we might be getting some dappled light as well. Which, I'll never complain about dappled light, that's for sure. I love dappled light. Yeah, I think I'm just going to chill out here for a bit. Eat my trail snack, which is actually my breakfast. I haven't eaten anything today so far. And then I'm probably just going to film some B-roll and see what else we can do. Maybe I'll sit here and watch the shadows roll across the hill. Maybe put the 600 on. And I'll probably walk up a little bit more because I haven't been up that way in a little bit. For some reason I usually stop right here. Maybe it's because I just don't want to walk that far. I should have brought my bike with me is what I should have done. I didn't think about doing that. I brought my bike with me again this year. And that would have been a great tool to bring with me up this road. Maybe I'll do that next morning or tomorrow morning if I come back here again. Very cool. Absolutely gorgeous day so far. Over the course of like the last hour or so, just been kind of filming B-roll and just kind of enjoying the time out here. Enjoying my trail snack, watching the dappled light roll across the hills. And speaking of light, I think I need to take another shot right here. This scene I'm looking at. Hopefully all these little bugs don't completely ruin the frame. Keep having to swat them away from the front of the lens. Just for a quick second, if they would just cooperate, that'd be great. I think they're starting to come out though because of the sun. It's getting a little warmer up here, so I am probably gonna head back soon. So I'd like to actually get like a real breakfast in. I will be going out later, of course. For the evening, I already have the spot planned out for the evening. So yeah, it's another area similar to this. Yeah, that hillside over there. I've photographed some dappled light over there. I want to say last year in the evening, evening light around springtime. Maybe like it was May, before all the other trees leaved out. So you had these like pine trees kind of sticking up out of the barren trees, kind of coming in and out of the dappled light. Looks really cool. I don't know if I'm gonna stick around to shoot it yet. Like I said, I've already got some photos of that, very similar photos. I do love that dappled hillside look with the blue sky over it, though. It's really, really nice. But yeah, just wanted to update you guys real quick. Because like I said, it's been about an hour or so since I've updated last. It's almost 10 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap up here. Bugs are driving me insane. Forgot to bring my my bucket hat so I could put my mosquito net over top. But yeah, beautiful day, absolutely beautiful day. So currently on a little bike ride right now on the way down to Quaker Lake, and just wanted to stop here at this one small section. I saw this on a bike ride last year in the summer, and I really liked the scene quite a bit. Although all the images I took that day didn't really pan out, I tried a lot of cropping, as I thought a panel crop would really do it justice, but it just couldn't save it at the end of the day. There's just something about the lighting not being right and all that stuff. But going by it here again, I knew I wanted to stop at it in advance, just to get another look. The lighting's a lot different right now, a few months prior than I saw it last year, so there's not as much greenery around it, so it kind of sticks out a lot more amongst the other hemlocks. So I'm debating on whether or not I'm going to pull my camera out right now and shoot it in this light with those really harsh kind of specular highlights, or if I'm going to leave it. Because my biggest sort of quarrel with this composition is like whether or not to include the very top part of that tree where the break actually happened. Because at that point you get in, again, a lot of those specular highlights, that really bright patches of sky coming through those little gaps in the canopy. And it adds this huge distracting element. I'd almost rather just kind of photograph the scene without any of the sky present, where you see, all the other hemlock trees, going straight up, and then you have this really strong diagonal, showing a little bit of disarray and chaos within the forest, with this fallen tree. And obviously the branches are arcing downwards, kind of giving context that it's not just a tree that's leaning sideways, but a tree that has fallen over and broken completely, as you can see there. And it's got the other hemlocks in the background for good context as well. So I'm debating on taking a photo of it right now. I do want to get down to the lake sooner than later. Just gonna take a reference shot on the phone here. Kind of zoom in a little bit. Yeah, something like that. I don't know how well you guys can see that. Probably not well at all. But something like that, cutting the sky out of the way. I think that's the way to go. I'm just hesitant to take any photos right now just because of the lighting that we have. It's not even 4 o'clock yet. So I'm thinking if I wait a little while longer, go down to the end, come back, on the way back I can grab at the lighting. Maybe, hopefully it will be just a little bit softer and not as harsh. You know, as I ride past all this stuff and this harsh lighting, I can't help but be kind of like enticed by it. Just because it looks so good, but those really harsh highlights on those leaves and those pine and hemlock boughs, those are extremely difficult to manage in post-processing without absolutely destroying them. So again, that's just why I'm hesitant, because I know I've taken photos like this before in this lighting because I get sucked in and try to take a shot, but it just never ends up working. So we're currently at the Quaker Inlet, as you can see, and no more clouds in the sky, so no more chance at dappled light. So I think I'm going to actually try and do some wildlife photography, a little change of pace, since there's some swallows and phoebes kind of just hanging in the willows on the side of the creek here. So, and there's a bunch of swallows at the nest boxes just over there. So I think I'm just going to put the 600 on and mess around with just wildlife, because I haven't really done strictly wildlife in a long time, so I think that's going to be the move for now. Probably spent the last, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour maybe trying to photograph some birds, osprey being one of them, and the other being a eastern meadowlark, which I've actually never photographed before, and I've also never actually seen one here. But it makes sense they would show up here in this bigger sort of open area here at the Quaker Inlet, and I think I actually maybe got one good photo of its head peeking out of some sunlit grasses. I'll show that picture to you guys on the screen right now. I'm actually quite happy with it just off the back of the LCD, but obviously that could change. But for now, I think it's pretty good. There was actually 2 meadowlarks sort of in these grassy fields, just kind of like ducking up and down in and out of the grass. And one point, he just kind of just stuck his head up and was looking off to the left. I placed him on the right third of the frame, and just really like the way it looks. The only question is how sharp is it? How in focus is it? I did have a polarizer on, so my shutter speed was down a little bit, and I'm at like ISO 2000 or 2500. I'm hoping that Lightroom can take care of that, no problem. But you never know. Sometimes you get mixed results of that. But I think we're going to keep going down the bike path, and we'll see what we can see from there. So here's an interesting development. So we're riding down the bike path, and you'll notice this huge fallen tree behind me here. This tree I actually was photographing on the last camping trip back in the summer. It was on our last full day here in the morning. I recall it having some kind of damage done to the trunk of it. But I didn't expect to see it come down this soon, because this fallen branch was down over here, but now the whole tree itself is down, which I mean, it was bound to happen at some point. It's just a little shocking to see it happen already. I mean, look at this, is a huge tree. Didn't take down really anything else with it though, so that's good. Maybe a couple branches on this guy up here, but yeah, just interesting development. One thing I'm also noticing down over there is these shrubs or these smaller trees that are just leafing out right up against the water there. That actually might make for a cool composition. I kind of like the way that the branches are coming together, the two separate trees. There's also like some slight waves on Quaker Lake right now too. It's like some little whitecaps, which I like almost never see. It really wasn't windy back at camp, but now that we're out here in this big open valley where the lake is, it's a decent wind, decent breeze. We've made our way back down from the lake, heading back to the cabin, and I stopped again really quickly at this broken hemlock tree. I'm zoomed in a lot tighter on this guy this time, and I think the lighting's also a little better right now too. The canopy's open a bit more because the trees have yet to leaf out, so I think that's kind of working, helping to backlight this scene a little bit. If it turns out like I would like it to, without lens flare. I mean, despite having this giant lens hood on, I'm still getting a ton of lens flare, which is nuts. So I have to put my hand out over top of it, which is a little unfortunate, but we're making it work. All right, nothing super crazy about this shot. Just gonna leave it as is, and if we get some fog sometime soon, I'll come back to it. But for now, I think that's about as good as it's gonna get. Plus these bugs, whatever, I don't know if they're gnats or they're not mosquitoes, but they're awfully persistent and they will not leave my camera alone. So they keep showing up in the shot, these little like blurry circles. So, all right, we'll see how that turns out. After we finished our bike ride, we went to one of the dirt roads, Francebrook Road, just to kind of hang out for a bit, and we had some extra time left to kill. We were going to drive down the whole road, but we didn't have enough time, and it's quite a lengthy road, and with how many potholes are on that road, we had to go pretty slow in some spots, so we decided we would just turn back. And then, like I said, had a little extra time left over, so we're here at good old Science Lake just after, well, I would say right around sunset. I mean, the sun's behind the hills. There's like two sunsets while you're here. You get when the sun goes behind the hills and then when the sun actually sets. And it does make planning a little bit trickier for like sunrises and sunsets, because like if you want to shoot something with some sunset light, you want to show up maybe about 30 to 40 minutes beforehand to your location, because if you show up right around sunset, you know, the sun's behind the hills and you just kind of lose out on that light. But that sort of nice post-sunset reflected light is still really nice, I must say. Same thing with sunrise. You kind of get the opposite effect at sunrise, because you can sleep in like a little bit extra or show up a little bit later, just because you know, that sun doesn't come up over the hills until 30 to 40 minutes after sunrise. But we're just walking this back half of the trail here, doing a little scouting with my phone. I really couldn't bring myself to bring my camera bag right now. I'm a little exhausted. But I did find a really cool scene back that way of these nice trees that are kind of surrounding this lonely serviceberry tree that's blooming out of this dead log. Like, it's literally growing out of an old mossy log. These two little, I guess they're decent sized stems of a serviceberry tree that's flowering. So I might come back to that before the trip is over if I can get the right conditions. Fog would be ideal. Still got some fingers crossed for fog. But if we get it, you know, that's another story, right? If it actually happens. Always love this old gnarly tree right here too. The only thing I don't like about it is the road in the background. Again, that's where fog would come in clutch. But we're not going to do this whole trail. We're just going to walk around this back half, get back to camp, make dinner, and call it a night. Yeah, I think that's probably where I'm going to wrap up the vlog too. So thank you guys so much for watching. I realized I didn't film a proper outro for the first episode, so I apologize for that. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay tuned for the next episode where we head up to Thunder Rocks to try out some experimental photos. Actually, my first time working with multiple exposures all in camera. We then end up hiking a new trail, one of the shorter trails in the entire park, but does have some nice little promising points of interest along the way and some history behind it. And later in the evening, we end up going to one of the more remote sections of the park where I actually end up seeing something I have literally never seen before in all my years of going to the park. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys around.